My stepmother yelled, "Leave this house right now or I'll call the cops." So I packed that night, stopped the $12,000 monthly mortgage payment I'd been making, and they lost the house in 90 days. Hey everyone. Stories like this mean something to you. Support us by subscribing. Say hi and tell us where you're watching from. Now let's get back into the story. The words hung in the air like poison. Leave this house right now or I'll call the cops. My stepmother Coraline stood at the top of the stairs, her face twisted with rage, pointing at me like I was some criminal. My hands shook as I gripped the banister. After everything I'd done, after sacrificing my own dreams, my own home, my own future, this is what it came to. "Coraline, please," I said, keeping my voice steady even though my heart was racing. "Can we just talk about this like adults?" "Adults?" She laughed, sharp and cruel. "Adults don't disrespect their parents' home. Get out. Now." The disrespect she mentioned? I'd asked her to please not rearrange my late mother's china cabinet. That's it. That's what triggered this nuclear meltdown. Behind her, my younger half-brother Nelson appeared, phone in hand. "Want me to call them, Ma?" I looked past them both, searching for my father. He stood in his bedroom doorway, arms crossed, silent. Our eyes met for just a moment before he looked away. That silence cut deeper than Coraline's screaming ever could. "Dad." My voice cracked. He cleared his throat. "Maybe it's best if you go cool off somewhere, Simone." Cool off. As if I was the problem. Something inside me went cold and clear. I'd been paying the $12,000 monthly mortgage on this house for 3 years. 3 years of sacrifice while they lived rent-free. 3 years of being treated like a burden in the home my mother left behind. "Fine," I said quietly. "I'll leave." Coraline's smile was victorious. She had no idea what she'd just done. "Let me take you back 4 years before everything fell apart. I was 28, working as a senior financial analyst, finally stable after years of struggle. Mama had passed 2 years earlier from breast cancer, leaving Dad devastated and drowning in grief. The medical bills had destroyed their savings. The house, Mama's dream home that she'd scrimped and saved for, was heading toward foreclosure. I couldn't let that happen. I couldn't let him lose her last piece of legacy. "Daddy, I can help," I told him over dinner at his empty dining table. The house felt hollow without Mama's laughter filling it. "I'll cover the mortgage until you get back on your feet." His eyes filled with tears. "Baby girl, that's too much. That's your future you'd be giving up." "Mama would want us to keep this house," I insisted. "It's temporary. Just until you're stable again." He hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. "You're just like your mama. Too good for this world." For 18 months, I paid that mortgage while living in my own small apartment across town. Then Dad started dating Coraline. She was 45, polished and charismatic. A dental hygienist with a bright smile and an even brighter personality at first. "Your father deserves happiness," everyone said. They married 6 months later. Quick, but grief makes people do impulsive things. I was happy for him. I really was. Then Coraline's son Nelson moved in. Then her sister Renee, just for a few months. Then Coraline suggested I was wasting money on rent. "Move in with us," Dad urged. "Family should be together. You're already paying the mortgage anyway." Red flags waved in my mind, but I ignored them. Family first, right? I moved in 3 weeks later. That's when everything changed. The first week was fine. Pleasant even. Coraline cooked elaborate dinners, and we'd all sit around Mama's table like a real family. Nelson kept to himself, gaming in the basement. Renee was quiet, always on her phone. Then Coraline started implementing house rules. "Since we're all living together, we need structure," she announced one Sunday morning, presenting a laminated list. "Everyone contributes to household harmony." Rule number 3 caught my eye. Respect the head of household's decisions regarding decor and household management. "What does this mean?" I asked carefully. Coraline smiled. "Just that as the lady of the house I'll be making some updates. Freshening things up. Your mother had lovely taste, but it's been years. Time to move forward." My stomach dropped. Move forward from what? "Oh, honey," She touched my shoulder, voice dripping with false sympathy. I know change is hard. But your father needs to heal, and living in a shrine isn't healthy. Within a month, Mama's photos came down from the living room. Too depressing, Coraline claimed. Her throw pillows replaced Mama's quilted ones. Her art replaced Mama's paintings. I bit my tongue. Kept the peace. Told myself it was just decor. Then she went after Mama's garden. I came home from work to find her sister Renee yanking up Mama's rose bushes. The ones Mama had tended for 15 years. What are you doing? I dropped my bag and ran outside. Renee barely looked up. Coraline wants a vegetable garden here. More practical. Those are my mother's roses. Were, Coraline corrected, appearing behind me. Past tense, sweetheart. They were your mother's. She's gone. This is my home now. Actually, I said, voice shaking with controlled fury, this is my father's home. That I'm paying for. Her eyes narrowed. Oh, here we go. The great martyr routine. That night I knocked on Dad's study door. He looked tired, older than his 56 years. Dad, we need to talk about the house. He sighed. Coraline told me you were upset about the roses. It's not just the roses. It's everything. Mama's pictures, her things. Simone. He cut me off gently. I know you're hurting. But Coraline's right. I can't live in the past. Your mother wouldn't want that. Mama would want her memory respected, I countered. This is her house, Dad. Her home. It's my home, he said firmly. Mine and Coraline's now. And I appreciate everything you're doing with the mortgage, baby girl, I really do. But that doesn't give you veto power over how we live. The words stung like a slap. I'm not trying to control anything. I'm trying to preserve something meaningful. Then maybe, he said carefully, you need to think about getting your own place again. If living here is this painful. I stared at him. You want me to leave? I want you to be happy. And clearly you're not happy here. Walking out of that study, something fundamental shifted in me. I pulled up my banking app and looked at the numbers. Over the past 3 years, I'd paid $432,000 toward this mortgage. $432,000. And I had nothing to show for it. No equity. No ownership. Not even basic respect. I'd given up my own down payment. My own home. My own future. And for what? My Aunt Joyce, Mama's sister, called that weekend. I heard about the roses, she said without preamble. Simone, baby, what are you still doing in that house? It's complicated, Auntie. No, it's not. You're being used. Plain and simple. Her voice was sharp with concern. Your mama would be sick if she knew. I'm helping Dad. You're enabling him, she interrupted. And that woman is walking all over you both. She's erased your mother from her own home and you're paying her to do it. I was silent, throat tight. Look, I didn't want to tell you this, but you need to know. Aunt Joyce's voice softened. I ran into Coraline's ex-husband at the grocery store last month. We got to talking. And she left him in debt up to his eyeballs. Maxed out credit cards, took out loans in his name. He's a user, baby. A professional one. She sees your father as a retirement plan and you as a piggy bank. That's a serious accusation. It's the truth. Her ex warned me to warn you. Said she's done this before. Married men with assets, bled them dry, moved on. I thought about Nelson, who'd been between jobs for 8 months. About Renee, who'd been staying temporarily for over a year. About Coraline's new car, her designer bags, her weekly spa appointments. All while I paid $12,000 a month to keep a roof over their heads. I need proof, I finally said. Then get it. But please, Simone. Protect yourself. Your mama didn't raise a fool. I started paying attention. Really paying attention. Coraline's shopping bags multiplied. Nordstrom's, Saks, Bloomingdale's. Your father spoils me, she'd say with a laugh when I noticed. But Dad's credit card statements, which I accidentally saw on the kitchen counter, told a different story. He was drowning in debt. New charges appearing daily. His retirement account statements showed multiple withdrawals. I created a spreadsheet. 3 columns. Date, purchase, amount. In 6 months, Coraline had spent over $89,000 on household expenses and personal items. Dad's savings account had gone from $127,000 to $23,000. One Tuesday I came home early and found Coraline and Renee in the kitchen, laptop open between them. "We could refinance," Coraline was saying. "Cash out the equity. There's got to be at least $200,000 we could access." "But the monthly payment would go up," Renee pointed out. Coraline waved dismissively. "Simone covers it anyway. She won't even notice." My blood ran cold. They were planning to refinance my mother's house, the house I was paying for, to extract cash for themselves. I backed away silently, went to my room and made 3 phone calls. First to a real estate attorney. Second to a financial advisor. Third to Aunt Joyce. "I need to stop paying that mortgage," I told her. "But I need to do it right. Legally." Finally, Aunt Joyce breathed. "What's your plan?" "I don't have one yet. But I will." That's when I started documenting everything. Every conversation. Every expenditure. Every dismissal of Mama's memory. I was building a case. I just didn't know for what yet. 3 weeks later I came home to find Coraline and Renee dismantling Mama's china cabinet. Not just rearranging, dismantling. The antique dishes Mama had collected for 30 years were piled carelessly in boxes. "What are you doing?" My voice came out strangled. Coraline didn't even look up. "This old thing is taking up too much space. We're donating it." "You can't donate my mother's china cabinet. That's not yours to give away." She finally turned to me, hands on hips. "It's in my house, making my living room look cluttered. So yes, actually I can." "Your house." The words exploded out of me. "Your house. I've paid $432,000 toward this mortgage. Every single payment for 3 years. This isn't your house. You've paid exactly $0 toward it." Nelson appeared from the basement, phone already raised, recording. "You better watch your tone with my mother." "Or what?" I stepped toward him. "You'll do what, Nelson? Get a job? Contribute literally anything?" "Simone." Dad's voice boomed from the hallway. He'd come home without anyone noticing. "What is going on?" "Your daughter is being disrespectful," Coraline said, instantly shifting to victim mode. Tears welled in her eyes. "I was just trying to create a comfortable home and she attacked me." "I didn't attack anyone. I asked her not to dismantle Mama's china cabinet. It's old and taking up space," Coraline whimpered. "I have a right to decorate my own home." Dad looked at me, disappointment heavy in his expression. "Can you please not do this today? I'm exhausted." "Do what? Stand up for Mama's memory? Turn everything into a fight about your mother?" His voice rose. "She's gone, Simone. She's been gone for 4 years. Coraline is my wife now. This is her home. You need to accept that." The room fell silent. Even Coraline looked surprised by Dad's outburst. "This is her home," I repeated slowly. "The home I pay for. Every month. $12,000. "We never asked you to do that," Coraline interjected smoothly. "That was your choice. You can't hold that over us." "I'm not holding anything over anyone. I'm asking for basic respect for my mother's belongings." "Respect." Coraline's tears dried instantly. "You want to talk about respect? You storm in here, yelling at me in front of my son, making me feel unsafe in my own home." "Unsafe?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Yes, unsafe. You're aggressive and hostile. I've tried to welcome you, to make you feel like family, but you throw it back in my face. I asked you not to get rid of the china cabinet. You attacked me." Her voice rose to a shriek. "Nelson, you got it on video, right? Her threatening me." "I didn't threaten anyone. You were right in my face." Coraline backed against the wall dramatically. "Leonard, are you going to protect me or not?" Dad looked between us, conflicted. "Simone, maybe you should go cool off." "Cool off," I repeated flatly. "You're clearly upset. Take a drive, get some air. We can talk about this later when everyone's calm." "I am calm. She's the one screaming." Don't you dare gaslight me. Coraline shrieked. I'm the victim here. In my own home I'm being terrorized. Terrorized. The word was so absurd I almost laughed. Leave this house right now, Coraline hissed, pointing toward the door. Or I'll call the cops and tell them you're threatening me. You're not on any paperwork. You have no legal right to be here. The room spun. Dad. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, waiting for my father to defend me. To tell Coraline she was being ridiculous. To acknowledge that I'd kept this house afloat for 3 years. He said nothing. Fine, I said quietly. I'll leave. I walked upstairs to my room, Mama's old sewing room that I'd converted, and pulled out my suitcases. My hands were surprisingly steady as I packed. Clothes. Toiletries. The few photos of Mama I'd hidden in my drawer. The jewelry she'd left me. Aunt Joyce answered on the first ring. Come straight here, she said when I explained. Don't stop, don't second guess. Just come. 45 minutes later I was loading my car. Dad stood in the driveway, hands in his pockets. You don't have to do this, he said. Coraline will calm down. You know how she gets. How she gets. I slammed the trunk. Dad, she just threatened to call the police on me. Your daughter. In the house I pay for. The house you chose to help with, he corrected. No one forced you. You're right. No one forced me. I did it because I love you. Because I loved Mama. Because I thought family meant something. It does mean something. Not to you anymore. I got in my car. Not since you let that woman erase every trace of Mama from her own home. That's not fair. What's not fair, I said through the open window, is that I've sacrificed everything, and you won't even tell your wife to stop dismantling Mama's belongings. I drove away without looking back. At Aunt Joyce's house, I sat at her kitchen table and opened my laptop. I barely slept. At 6 a.m. I made the call I'd been dreading. First National Bank, how may I direct your call? I need to stop an automatic payment. The representative pulled up my account. I see a recurring payment of $12,000 to, oh my. That's quite a mortgage payment. It is. And I'm stopping it. Today. Just to confirm, you're not the borrower on this loan? This is just a personal payment you've been making on someone else's behalf. Correct. Okay, that's actually easy then. I'll cancel the automatic transfer right now. The next payment was scheduled for 3 days from now, so you're stopping it just in time. 3 clicks on her keyboard and it was done. 3 years of payments, ended in 30 seconds. I called the mortgage company next. I'm not the borrower, but I've been making payments on loan number 5847392. I'm notifying you that I'll no longer be doing so. Understood. We'll note the account. The actual borrower, Mr. Leonard James, will be responsible for all future payments. Then I called my financial advisor. I need to know the exact total I've paid, broken down by year for tax purposes. She called back 2 hours later. Simone, honey, this is, wow. $432,000 over 3 years. You could have bought 2 houses with that money. I know. At least tell me you got something in writing? Some kind of agreement. No. It was family. I trusted them. Her sigh was heavy. I'm sending you documentation of every payment. You might be able to claim this as a gift on your taxes, but you'll need to talk to a CPA. Thank you. My phone buzzed. Dad calling. I let it go to voicemail. For 2 weeks, I ignored calls from Dad and Coraline. Then the messages started getting desperate. Baby girl, we need to talk about the mortgage payment. Call me. Simone, this isn't funny. The bank called. Call your father back. You're being childish. We're family. We can work this out. Finally, Coraline herself called, voice syrupy sweet. Simone, honey, I think we got off on the wrong foot. Why don't you come by for dinner? We can talk about everything. I didn't respond to any of them. Aunt Joyce's lawyer friend, Michelle, reviewed my documentation. You have every text message? Every bank statement showing your payments? Everything. Good. Because here's what's going to happen. They're going to default on that mortgage in about 60 days. The bank will start foreclosure proceedings. They'll panic and try to make you feel guilty. I already feel guilty. Don't. Michelle's voice was firm. You gave them 3 years of free housing. $432,000. That's more than most people see in a decade. You owe them nothing. He's my father. Who chose his new wife over his daughter. Who let her erase your mother's memory. Who stood silent while she threatened you. He was right. I knew she was right. The first missed payment hit their account 30 days after I left. Then the second. By day 60, the bank sent a formal notice of default. Dad called 17 times that day. I answered on the 18th call. How could you do this to us? His voice was raw. Do what? Stop paying for a house I don't live in? A house where I was threatened with police. You're going to let us lose your mother's house? The manipulation was breathtaking. No, Dad. You're going to lose it. You and Coraline. We can't afford the payment. Then you shouldn't have run me out. Day 87, Coraline showed up at Aunt Joyce's house. You can't hide forever, she shouted through the door. We need to talk. Aunt Joyce called the police before opening the door. You're on my property uninvited. Leave. I just want to talk to Simone. I appeared behind Aunt Joyce. Say what you need to say. Coraline's face crumpled. Gone was the polished, confident woman. She looked haggard, desperate. Please. We're going to lose the house. Your father's heartbroken. You're destroying your family over a stupid argument. A stupid argument? You threatened to call the cops on me. I was upset. I didn't mean it. People say things when they're emotional. And people face consequences for their actions. Please. He was crying now, mascara running. I'll apologize. I'll put everything back the way it was. We can get your mother's china cabinet from the donation center. Just please start paying the mortgage again. No. Simone, please. We'll lose everything. You mean you'll lose everything? I already lost everything. My money, my future, my father's respect. I'm just done paying for the privilege of being disrespected. Nelson's car pulled up. He got out, face furious. You selfish. Nelson, don't, Coraline warned. No, she needs to hear this. You're destroying a family because your feelings got hurt. Grow up. Get a job, I said calmly. Pay your own bills. Then talk to me about growing up. The police arrived. Coraline and Nelson left. That was the last time I saw them. 3 days later, the foreclosure finalized. The house sold at auction. Dad called one last time. I hope you're happy. Your mother's house is gone. My mother's house was gone the day you let Coraline move in. He hung up. We haven't spoken since. I'm sitting in Aunt Joyce's garden. She's teaching me to grow roses like Mama used to. My hands are dirty and the sun is warm on my face, but my heart is heavy. People ask if I regret it. If I wish I'd handled things differently. The truth is complicated. I don't regret stopping the payments. I don't regret standing up for myself. But I grieve what I've lost, not the house but my father. The man who used to call me his baby girl. The man Mama loved. That man is gone, replaced by someone I don't recognize. Coraline and Dad moved into a small apartment. Last I heard from a mutual friend, they're drowning in debt. Nelson finally got a job at a call center. Renee moved in with her boyfriend. I could have saved them. Part of me wanted to. The daughter in me screamed to fix it, to rescue him one more time. But Aunt Joyce asked me a question that changed everything. If your mama was here, what would she tell you to do? Mama would tell me I'm worth more than being a bank account. Worth more than being erased. Worth more than silence in the face of disrespect. I've started therapy. Started rebuilding my savings. Started dating someone who treats me with the respect Coraline never did. But sometimes, late at night, I cry for the relationship I'll never have with my father again. For the family I thought I had but never really did. For the little girl who thought love and money were the same thing. They're not. I know that now. The roses in this garden will bloom next spring. They're not Mama's roses. Those are gone forever. But they're beautiful in their own right. And maybe, just maybe, so am I. Sometimes the saddest endings are the ones where you win but lose everything that mattered. I have my self-respect. My boundaries. My future. But I don't have my father. And that's a price I'll be paying for the rest of my life. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share. Sometimes healing means walking away even when it breaks your heart. Especially then.